I'm going to walk you through the newer way that we're using content right now to be able to get more predictable inbound leads and calls booked on our calendar for our coaching business using social media and email. And I'm going to give you this repeatable formula that I put together in this cheat sheet with the 7 steps that you can use to be able to build your own campaign, so you'll be able to find that somewhere around where you're watching this video. Now, for some context, I was doing some research on this, and I saw that Google Analytics did a study which is wild to me what they found. 1.1 billion, with a B, posts are being published on social media every single day. So needless to say, information is a freaking commodity. Gone are the days when you could just like post content and give a PDF out to people and be like, yay, leads and clients. Man, I remember those days, like when I first started going heavy in content back in 2016. I was running my gym, and then even going into online fitness coaching around 2019. I was just like, man, it was so easy. You just like posted something. I went live, gave a PDF away, and it was just like leads were pouring in. Those days are gone because A, a fraction of the people see your stuff, and B, it's just commoditized, right? They could find the same information. It's like, here's how to lose 5 pounds. It's like they can find that on they type that into Google or YouTube, and Gemini will pop that out, right? And so it takes a little bit more depth now. I'm going to show you, some ways that we're kind of navigating this. And then secondly, Google also did a study, and Meta echoed this in a very similar way. They had similar findings that the average consumer needs to consume, go figure, 7 hours of content before they're ready to make a purchasing decision with a brand. That's wild. And I was just watching I think it's called the School Announcements or School News with Alex Hormozy and Sam Ovens. And they also echoed this, where Hormozy was saying that it takes around 480 like short form pieces of content for somebody to consume before they're ready to buy. Versus, if you contrast that to having more long form content that's shifting beliefs, that's demonstrating value, that's showing proof, it takes a heck of a lot less time. They need to consume, they'll get to that 7 hours much faster. And so I'm going to show you how we're getting people to consume long form content, how we're giving tons of value, and really how we're creating demand so we can get the right people to see the right types of content. Because where I see a lot of people struggling, man, is like they're just all on short form content. They're either too teachy, too on short form, combination of all of it. And so it's like, it's really challenging for them to get, it's not hard to get leads. Like people can run ads and they can get leads, but the problem is like, and I'm helping a couple coaches with this now, navigate this, that are in the health and fitness space. They've got tons of leads because they're running ads. They got Instagram working, but they're super unqualified. So they're getting on calls with people, they're burning out, and it's just, there's a better way to do it in my experience, where it's like, who cares about having a shitload of unqualified leads? I would much rather have half of the leads, but then be much more qualified so that I can get more qualified people on my call calendar, and that I can, or even if you're selling in the DMs, and I can do less work, but get better results, And so I'm going to show you how we're doing it today. So if you've been around my world for a while, you probably have heard me talk about what's called conversion content campaigns. We're still using those today. They work phenomenally well, done correctly. The difference is, because attention is so spread out, man, all over, like we are leveraging newer technology, not necessarily tactics or anything like that, but we're just we're leveraging where the market is on a sophistication level to get the right eyeballs to the content that we want people to consume. So if you don't know what a conversion content campaign is, really simply, it's a 3 to 7 day intentional sequence of posts designed to create demand and move people into a conversion event. This would be something like a masterclass, a micro VSL, which is like a shorter video sales letter. It could be a Zoom workshop you're hosting. It could be a promotion that you're running for your program. The secret to this is the messaging. If you are saying the right words in the right way to the right people, you're going to get a lot of people in, because this is what helps you form the hook. So in any conversion content campaign, the hook is the most important part. You can have the best freaking information in the entire world in what you're doing, but if the hook sucks, a fraction of the people are going to see it. And this is actually something that Hormozy and Sam Ovens were talking about as well, just the other day when I was watching that video. It's like they have found that you've got to be good at what you do, right? Duh. But like that will take you so far if you want to increase the amount of people that are in your audience that consume your long form content, like your master classes, your trainings, your VSLs and things like that. The hook is it's going to make or break the piece of content. You want to have a unique angle to it. And then you want to have a clear, specific call to action so people know how to take action and how to show up to your thing. When you do this right, and I'm going to give you some examples, I'm going to demonstrate some examples for you, it's going to make your life a lot easier. In fact, let me show you a quick example that I had pulled up. This is one from a couple years ago, but this really pulls hard still. It says, wow, there's a new way to book at least 5 sales calls from one simple post. Want to try? Guarantee that you've never seen this. So this is like one that we use, and it goes to what we would consider like a video sales letter. It's more so just a strategic training we did that has been amazing. Like we had this, I mean, for us, it went viral, 780 comments. We posted this back in 2022. You could see as of a week ago, people are still commenting, yes, this has worked for years for us. And it's because the hook was so dang good that it continues to produce years later, right? So that's the power of this, is like we're constantly getting demand created for one video that I shot years ago, and that video converts because it literally solves a problem for people, gives them tremendous value. It builds tons of trust with them so they could see like, oh, Jason does know what he's talking about. We have tons of social proof on there of people being like, oh my God, this was so good, right? And all the comments that we're getting. And so that significantly helps us. And by the way, I have a tiny audience. So if you see like 780 comments, I have a freaking tiny audience, man. Like I don't have a big audience. So it's like, like I don't even want to hear like the people are like, well, it's easy for you to say because you got, no, I don't have a big audience. So it's like, I have a few thousand people that are in my audience right now. I think if I combine my email list and my YouTube and my Facebook group and my Facebook page and my Instagram of like legitimate followers, I probably have maybe 5,000. So doesn't need to be big. That's what she said. Anyways, that's what that is. And it works so well because you can create predictability. So here's what I want to show you so you can make this repeatable. And I want to show you, and I'm going to demonstrate to you, with you, for you, how to do this in today's market so that you can get people to consume your stuff. So first of all, before we go into this formula, I truly believe that every single coaching business needs to have a content ecosystem set up. Because if you're just posting on socials, like Facebook or Instagram, meaning like a top of funnel, it's a very long road. So you want to have a top of funnel platform set up, like Facebook or Instagram are the probably most common ones. You want to have a relationship building platform set up. We use email. And then you want to have a long form platform set up to be able to really give long form content to people. If you're a Facebook user, honestly, you could just use Facebook Lives, or use a Facebook group. It works extremely well still. If you're an Instagram user, that's your top of funnel. Typically, a YouTube works extremely well. A YouTube/podcast works really well. You could do 5-10 minute videos. It really doesn't need to be anything crazy, but that works well. And then you just promote that via your Instagram. So all we're trying to do is we're trying to take our Instagram or Facebook audience, get them onto our email list so we can have our own list and not rely on the algorithm. This is going to help you create demand because your email list is the gold. And then we want to, via top and middle, via our top of funnel like Facebook or Instagram and our email list, we want to be able to drive traffic to our long form content. So whether you're using Facebook Lives or YouTube videos or podcasts, it doesn't matter. But you're leveraging stories and the feed and your email to get people to consume that long form content. So that's the first big key. If you don't have a very simple funnel set up, and by the way, I teach people how to set up their own GPT, their own AI bot that writes authentically. And so like for the majority of my clients, I just tell them to create like one video a week and then one masterclass a month. Some people call it workshops or trainings or whatever. And then you just take the transcripts from those and you can create all of your content if you know how to do it. So I show people how to leverage AI. So to be honest, like this could take you maybe 2 hours a week to do, if that, if you do it efficiently, leveraging automations and AI. And so you want to have that system set up. And then once you have that system set up, this is where the predictability comes in. So the repeatable formula, every campaign needs to follow this flow. Obviously, there could be slight variations depending on your platform. But you want to have a trigger post. This could be what I call a raise hands post. Again, it could be a short, punchy post like this that I read to you. Or it could be even a longer form post that has a call to action. It could be a poll that you do in your stories or your Facebook group. It could be a teaser. All we're trying to do is to spark interest. This is going to be the most important post that you do. And I'm going to give you some more examples here in just a minute. But if this post flops, it's going to be really hard to get demand. So I put the most time into really crafting this post or this poll or whatever you do. And then from there, you're just simply using the same hook. So like in this sequence, I had other pieces of content that had the same hook, right? The new way to book at least 5 sales calls from one simple post. But I had it in longer form content, right? In different pieces of content that shifted beliefs, that showed proof. And then you run the conversion event. And so all we're doing, getting people to raise their hands or to opt in, depending on what you're having them do. You have a few different posts that have the same hook, the same call to action to drive people over there. And if you do that right, if you have the right messaging, you're saying the right words in the right way to the right people, you're going to get tons of people interested. Now, this is where you want to leverage your email list. And if you're like, dude, I don't have anybody on my email list, homie, you should be starting this yesterday. Like, whenever somebody comes to me, and I've had people that have like hundreds of thousands to millions of followers that come to me and they're like, Jason, I'm not really building my email list. I'm like, what? Like, what if, hypothetically speaking, what if Facebook or Instagram shut down tomorrow? What if like the government came in there and like banned them? You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously that probably won't happen, but why would you want to like give you all of your business faith in your brand to a company that's outside of you that you literally have no control over, versus your email list you do have control over? If somebody subscribes to your email, you do. And so when you use your email list, it significantly helps. Now, the big thing I want to give to you here is to create demand in the sophisticated market. It's like you can't just post the same stuff that worked a few years ago. I mean, you totally can't. If it works for you, that's awesome. But what I'm finding is it's not. Like, people aren't responding it to the same because like nobody is a coach or course virgin, right? Everybody pretty much, from my understanding, in the majority of our markets, has already hired a personal trainer, or they've hired a high ticket fitness coach, or they've hired a business or marketing mentor. It's like they bought the course. Like they've done it. They're in the mastermind. They've done the things, you know? And so it's like, you got to start thinking ahead of the curve, right? It's like back in like the, I don't know, the 60s or 50s or 60s, like there would be an article that would go out in the newspaper that'd be like, lose weight fast, and people are like, oh, this is revolutionary. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not going to then it stops working because the market gets sophisticated. And so when you're coming up with your hooks, you want to start to think about ways that you can do it. And I'm going to pull up a document that I made for some of my clients, giving them some newer cutting edge ways to do this. And I'm going to read some of these to you. So there's some, what I call pattern interrupt hooks. These could be like for the weight loss space, this is what I made it for. Stop counting calories, start counting this instead. While your healthy breakfast is making you gain weight, the fitness lie that's keeping you stuck at your current weight. Right? Contrarian takes. Why I tell my clients to eat more to lose weight. Exercising is making you fat. Here's what to do instead. The case against meal prep. Why planning ahead sabotages weight loss. Now, obviously, with any of these are just examples. You always want to just input your truth, but you can put it under the frame of one of these hook patterns. Unexpected analogies is another one. What a broken thermostat taught me about stubborn fat loss. How my check engine light revealed the secret to sustainable weight loss. You see? You can have like a pain point focused one. Why your body fights back every time you diet. Tired of losing the same 20 pounds over and over again? Here's what to do about it. So you see, with all of these so far, it's like really, like this is going to our weight loss, the weight loss niche. But you want to get really specific with the words that you're using, and you can come up with these unique angles. Results-based hook. The 3-day reset that jumpstarts stubborn metabolism. 8 pounds down in 2 weeks without giving up wine or pasta. Mystery or curiosity hooks. Here's the weird morning ritual that regulates your hunger hormones and helps you be able to shed the last 10 pounds of stubborn belly fat. What skinny people eat at restaurants. Hint, it's not a salad. The hidden reason you gain weight between 2 to 5. You can have a framework focused one, right? And if you've gone through my magic messaging makeover process, which by the way, we're looking at giving people access to this in school, in our school community. We have this whole client attraction accelerator. It's an 8-week roadmap. In it, I have my entire magic messaging process, right? With exactly what to do. So we're considering doing it. So look around the description of where you're watching this video or listening to this, and you'll be able to gain access to that if we have it available. So you could see the framework based, right? There could be time-based hooks, identity shifts. So anyways, there's tons of my point in sharing this with you is this is one of the most important things that I have found is coming up with different hooks. You can even leverage authority, like authoritative based things. So earlier in this video, I referenced Google, Meta, Alex Hormozy, and Sam Ovens, right? Like I'm borrowing authority from somebody that you likely already have trust with. And so that way it helps validate and builds trust in your mind, the information that I'm sharing. So it's like, if you are in the weight loss space and say like Mayo Clinic did a study on something, you can borrow Mayo Clinics or another influencer, somebody that maybe has more trust with the niche, your sub niche than you do currently. You see what I'm saying? And so when you can come up with a unique way to put the hook out there, it's going to get so much more demand and you're going to get so many more people that raise their hand that want to consume your stuff. And then when you do that, again, none of this is like, this is marketing 102, maybe 201, but it has to come from your truth. Don't make shit up because it's not going to work. But once you do that, you'll get so many more people to consume your live workshops, your master classes, your promotions. You know, I remember I did a promotion a few years back and I called it the L Project. And it was based around our client, Leo, who I helped. He was my first client back in 2021 when I first started doing marketing and business coaching. And he said he went from like doing he was between 1 to 10K a month. He was just all over the place. And we helped him scale to like 16 and 26 and 33K and doing 100K contracts. And so I basically built the curriculum around him initially. And I ran a promotion, but it was very like curiosity based around this L project. And we had like hundreds of people interested in it. And we ended up signing, I think, 20 or 30 people from it. So it works extremely well. So all that to say, without beating a dead horse, if you will, just never beat any horses. It's bad for you. That's what we're trying to do. Even with your video sales letters, if you want those to work, and all of this to say is all of your stuff should feel like content. So even if you're doing video sales letters or ads, you want everything to feel like content, not feel like you're trying to sell somebody. And so the last thing I'm going to walk you through here is just how to come up with your own, the 7 steps to doing this. So you want to choose the campaign theme. So just real simply, what's that core pain or desire ideal clients wants to solve? Okay. So if you have your magic messaging sheet, for those of you that have gone through, and we've had hundreds and hundreds of people go through this, if you have, you can pull from your sheet. If not, I want you to think about the biggest complaints, symptoms, and or dream outcomes that they want. Struggling to get 5+ leads per week. Inconsistent sales from content. You want to lose belly fat before summer. Sick of losing that same 20 pounds over and over again. I think in hooks, but you just want to come up with like that initial pain or desire. Anchor it to a messaging pillar. So in any business, you probably have some pillars. You know, if you're in fitness, you probably have like fitness, work, nutrition, mindset, right? In my case, I have like attract, convert, deliver. Obviously, like if you've gone through our processes, I teach people how to name and come up with their own methodologies. And so for me, it might look like, if you want more inbound leads, I'll tie it to my magic messaging pillar. Fat loss without cardio, maybe I goes to my flexible nutrition pillar, right? So pain or desire, get as specific as possible, and you want to make sure you're saying it in their words. You can go ahead and write that down now. Just write it out imperfectly. And then number 2 is what is a pillar you could tie it to? Are you going to link it to nutrition if you're in weight loss, or to a workout structure, or to mindset? What are you going to link it to? Step 3 is decide your conversion event. Are you going to run a masterclass? Are you going to do a live training in a Facebook group? Are you going to create what I call a micro VSL, which is like a 10 to 20 minute training strategically that you'll do that demonstrates your story, your unique way of doing things. It shifts beliefs and it demonstrates social proof. You can have a micro VSL. It could be to a case study that you have. It could be to a low ticket workshop. Maybe you're going to charge like $27, $47 for. You just want to pick something that you already are comfortable doing with, at least for this purposes. And so write that down. So by right now, you should have a pain point and or desire that you're linking to a pillar. And then you should decide, I'm going to do a promotion, I'm going to do a live training, I'm going to do a masterclass, a workshop, etc. Step number 4 is you want to craft a hook. So you can use this headline formula to get people to raise their hands, okay? So outcome without thing they hate, or pain they're experiencing plus your solution. So this could look like, in my case, how to get 10+ leads a week without sending cold DMs. Why your metabolism isn't broken, and how to actually lose that last 10 pounds. The 3-part content sequence that books sales calls in 72 hours without stories. Right? You want to keep it clear, not clever. If your ideal client can see it and be like, wait, that's for me, you nailed it. And obviously I gave you tons of hooks that you can go back in this video and you can model. Step number 5 is map your campaign sequence. You want to keep it simple. 3 to 5 posts over 7 days. So it could be like a raise hands post, belief shift, social proof, a teaser, and then your conversion event. And I'll have linked down below this video our whole content ebook that literally just gives you oodles and oodles and oodles of examples that you could take. And then any supporting content, you want to make sure that you're repurposing it to email. Again, that's the big key. You can repurpose it to your stories. And then afterwards, you want to run it, track it, debrief it. You want to look at the KPIs from it, see how many comments it got, conversations it started, calls it booked, and etc. And then you just rinse and repeat. And again, in this document, you can click here. There's going to be like real world examples and all that stuff. I even have scripts and a GPT down here that you can use for this. So GPT is really cool. You could do I call it the hand raiser HQ, or the content writing ninja, and it can actually help you write your post. So I'm going to give all of this away to you, and I hope that you find value and use in it. And if you have any questions for me, let me know. Otherwise, get out there, run the campaign, use a great hook, And I hope you crush it. Bye for now.